Call this meeting order. All stand and face the flag for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Britton Luther.
Present.
R.J. Donovan.
Here.
Tim Wilkins here. Approval of minutes.
Motion to approve minutes as corrected.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of claims.
Motion to approve claims.
Second the motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of payroll.
Make a motion to approve payroll.
Second motion.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public comment. The Rise is here tonight, and I'm going to let them come up and speak first, and that way if they need to leave, they can, but they are welcome to stay. So.
Good evening.
Good day.
Good evening.
Tim sent me some text, and I've talked to RJ a couple times, so just kind of wanted to come here and kind of give you a little bit of an update that we're, I guess my thoughts are, I'm the new board president, business at the Rise has kind of been non-existent a little bit. We've taken a real strong approach. One, we need a new plan. You can't do anything without a plan. So if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. So our goal is to archive everything that we have, know where we're at, come up with a detailed plan. We feel in the past, or I feel in the past, that the Rise has been put a Band-Aid on it. We've been Band-Aiding a lot of different things. Our infrastructure is aged. Our roads need some improvement. We have buildings that are dilapidated, including the building that we use as our office. As Tom Milligan, one of our board members, is here, and so is Dave. Tom has said, you have to be able to call a baby ugly. We have some ugly things out there that we need to improve. I do want to thank the board members that are here today. They have been outstanding. I feel for the first time that I've been on the board that we're in a positive direction moving forward. We have a lot of interest. We do have a lot of people coming in, looking for places. We're completely full. All of our buildings are full. We did get some buildings back that were being occupied. Somebody didn't have a lease, so they've been removed. We're looking to improve those buildings. The old days of leasing space cheap because we just had it is over.
Yeah.
We've had other opportunities for people looking for lease space where the pieces that we had were too expensive because of the new construction. We need something that's somewhere in between new construction and cheap, and that's what we're trying to do. So, also I'd like to thank Amanda with Economic Development. She has been outstanding with us. We have a lot of people coming. We do not have a director right now. So she's been filling sort of that role for us as well. We've had some big projects that have been coming in. Those projects would not get to the point where they were without her help. So she has done an outstanding job. Everybody that I talked to, from Duke Energy to the state, raves about the job she does. So, man, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. She's kind of our go-between and helps us out with everything. The last thing is there's some things that we need as a board to continue to move forward. One, we have a board member who hasn't been to several meetings and hasn't given us his input. So, there's an opportunity for somebody out in the community that we feel is very, very strong. You guys appoint board members. I don't know if you guys remove board members. I don't know how that works. But we do have some suggestions. This person is a outstanding person in the community and has a lot of good experience. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm new to being the board president, but I think it's time to make a lot of tough decisions and finally, move the Rise in the right direction.
Do you have a business plan already developed? Have you developed a business plan?
We're working. We're gathering all of our information so that we know exactly where we're at. We do not have it, but we do. That's top of our list is to develop a new business plan and to see what we have there.
What date do you think you might? What's your target date to have at least the rudimentary sections of it complete?
The archiving process is taking a little longer than we thought. I would say probably 90 days.
Okay. Did you guys apply for community crossing grants?
We have not.
I don't think they ever got approved, did it?
I thought it was, but I thought it was at a 50% rate, but I thought it was approved. No?
We need to find that out.
It was not?
Okay.
I don't think it.
You
Yeah,
qual-
there was a bill that was carried, and I think it got removed from that bill.
I think it did.
Well, you declared a municipality, right?
Yeah, but there were some other things out in the State House that changed it.
Yeah, I knew they were playing with it, but I thought it passed, but at a lower percentage.
We can do some research on that.
If you'll look
Mike.
into that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
If you haven't, then for next year, I would
Sure.
apply.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're qualified.
So when's the date, expiration date with the RISE and the new building contract up? Is it another 2 or 3 years on that?
I believe it's in 27, we believe.
Is it?
Yep. And we, we have reached back out to Gormont, we feel like, I felt like, and the board felt like we didn't have a relationship with Gormont for quite some time. We're in this together, so, let's mend that fence, let's work together. They've actually been very supportive on some of the other projects we have as far as giving us some insight. That's their realm of development for no charge. So, we're going to lean on our partners and lean on our friends as much as we can to help us along.
Good choice.
Appreciate you all. We're here to help you. It's good to have a report once a quarter. If you could come once a quarter or something, just
Sure,
to be here, because the press is here, and it's good PR for you guys too, just to show up and let us know, give us an update. So anything we can do for you, anything we should be looking at trying to do to help you?
There is a height restriction in the county. That has been a hurdle that when we have site selectors looking, that is something that we probably need to address. We've met with some site selectors who were working with some other people who didn't choose us. And so we reached out to them and say, hey, what was the things that we need to improve on? So that is one big thing. Removing that from the RISE would be a huge benefit to us.
Is that for a building, or is that for what type of structure?
I believe it's anything, 45-foot height restriction.
You do know APC is going through their zoning changes now, right?
Did not know that.
You may want to interface with the director there, and
Okay.
if you have changes within the RISE, now is a good time to have those affected.
Who's the contact person for me?
Penny Carpenter,
Penny Carpenter, okay.
or you can talk to Scott. I don't know, is Scott still president of the, who's the president of APC?
Might be Larry Langley, maybe.
Larry. you're right.
Larry Langley.
Or Larry Langley.
Okay.
But
Well,
things
actually,
like
talk
that,
to
I
either
think
board
that if
members
they
for
come
that
up and
matter.
it's a matter of landing a company, I think that can be worked out.
Yeah, it's just we're trying to eliminate all the hurdles that when somebody comes and looks at what the RISE has to offer, the fewer things that we have to just to work through makes their job a lot easier.
Companies are not interested in zoning and all that. They want it to be ready-made.
That's
They're not
correct.
in the business of changing zones.
That's correct.
With that being said, if you don't have luck with APC, commissioners can cause effects if there's an agreement to do so
Okay.
over and above APC if they
Okay.
will not do it.
I vote on now.
So we're here to help, and anything would help bring business in here. We're definitely on your side in that.
I think they'll help you out as much as
I would believe so, yes.
there's no reason for them not to.
Thank you so much, appreciate that.
Very good.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? We do have the tile recycling day coming up. Is that May 11th?
I do want to thank you for the mushroom and
Yeah.
and also the marathon out there. Thank you for accommodating that.
It's
So-
that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
We need more people in the RISE. We need to give it a positive perception. It's been too long that it's been looked at as
Yeah.
just a RISE. So
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the mushroom hunt again. This is year 3, and I think anytime someone gets out there, they're like, man, this is the first time. And a lot of them don't even look for mushrooms. They just enjoy the nature hike per se in that 300 acres.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate the RISE and the board allowing that to
We have
happen.
other people asking to come and use the facility for other things. So we'll continue to address those and try to accommodate them as many as we can.
Well, thank you for rising to the occasion.
All right. Any other questions?
Was there, one other thing, what is the status on the property to the north with the state? Was the state going to take some of that back?
There is a deadline on that, and we're working through those. But yeah, it's kind of it's a deal that was struck when the initial deal was done. I would hate to see those acres go to the state. So we're working on that. That's part of our due diligence. That's on our list of things to address. You know, along with, you know, right now we're sprucing up the entrance. You know, we've got some things, the gates need to be redone, the guard shack needs to be redone, but those have already been set in motion. So yes, but there's a deadline on that.
Okay.
Have you got my equestrian center that approved yet?
I do not.
Part of your business plan right there. Already got a major portion of it.
Okay.
Don't hurt the dream.
Yes. Yeah, and that's, we do need to dream. We need to dream big, we need to be realistic
Dream
as
big.
well. You know, it would be great to have a huge corporation with lots and lots of jobs, but I'm not sure our workforce can support that. But, you know, lots of medium-sized businesses, small businesses, you know, I really, truth, myself, small businesses make the world turn.
Like an equestrian center.
We'll sell you the ground. You can develop it yourself.
Yeah, a
Come out
dollar and
see
other
us.
valuable consideration is fine with me.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you very, very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got the Hamilton Center would be next.
Was there any other public?
They just step out, take a phone call. So
Okay. Try West
Is
Central.
there public comment?
What?
Is there public comment?
Yeah, public comment.
Yeah, oh, public comment, yeah.
Good evening. My name's Dustin Britton. I'm a resident of Perrysville. I'm going to read a prepared statement. I appreciate the work you do, and I appreciate that we share a goal of making Vermilion County a better place for everyone. I'm incredibly active in various aspects of our community, and just like you, I want to see a better, thriving, growing Vermilion County. I am certain that the upcoming decision on what I'm speaking about today will not be affected by what is being said, and please know my intention is not to be critical, but to see progress. I come before you today to discuss a matter that's been awaiting resolution since October 24th of 2023. For those who may not be aware, from the September edition of the Clintonian, the Vermilion County Community Improvement Grant Program, in partnership with the Vermilion County Community Foundation, is seeking high-quality grant applications for projects and programs that will enhance the quality of life for Vermilion County residents. The program may provide up to $2 million in funding, subject to the discretion of Vermilion County. Grant requests will be reviewed on a quarterly basis. That sounded like a great opportunity for me and my organization, and my idea nearly met all of the qualifications, so I applied with many others. On October 18th, 2023, I received an email informing me that the commissioners would be discussing the Improvement Money Grant project applications during the regularly scheduled meeting. On a follow-up email, I asked if it was important for me to be there. I was told yes, so I took a half day at my job because it was important. During the meeting, it was suggested that we present our ideas. Though unaware this would be happening, all applicants in attendance gave their impromptu pitches and then were told it would be discussed and a decision would be made. The project was important enough that we pitched unplanned right there that day. It was important. The commissioners even agreed to keep the application period open longer to get more applications because it was, in fact, important. And then we waited and waited and waited. It has now been 182 days since that meeting. What once felt important now seems to have lost its significance. After 101 days of patiently waiting, I reached out for an update via email. Commissioner Donovan was the sole respondent to my inquiries, expressing support for reaching a decision, and has done so numerous times throughout this process. So I thank you for that.
You're welcome also. There was another comment there.
I'm
Whether
going to
you
get
missed
there.
it or not.
I said for the first 101 days. Subsequent emails spanning a period of over 85 days yielded little progress, with Commissioner Luther responding after three repeated responses, finally indicating that he did not support the idea in these grants and that the $50,000 had been allocated for these projects, yet he was unable to provide a timeline for a decision. Commissioner Luther also followed up this afternoon. I thank you for that. Providing no further information, he said to reach out to Commissioner Yoakum and Commissioner Donovan. Disappointingly, Commissioner Yoakum has not yet acknowledged or responded to any emails on the matter. 182 days and a timeline for a decision for one reason or another still has not been set. I must ask what constitutes a reasonable time frame for decision making, and conversely, what is an unreasonable period to keep individuals waiting? As Commissioner Luther asked in a recent special meeting on another topic, how long do you want to wait to make a decision? Are we going to wait 4 months, or are we going to wait 1 day? We need to make a decision here. I couldn't agree more. These grants are specifically intended to enhance Vermilion County, and it was evident from the pitches that many of them could significantly benefit our communities. We have dedicated individuals eager to contribute to our county's improvement through innovative projects and enhancements without any personal gain. Yet, instead of empowering and supporting these efforts, we find ourselves in a pattern of delay, unresponsiveness, and a lack of information. What is a reasonable period to keep people, groups, clubs, and organizations waiting? The people of Vermilion County showed up here with plans and ideas, as people willing to do our parts to help improve our county. Why can't we set a date for a decision today? In the case of the Vermilion County Disc Golf Club, the timing is critical. With peak season fast approaching, our 100-plus members eagerly await improvements that would position our course as one of the premier destinations in the area. Communities across the state are currently planning large-scale disc golf tournaments which will bring hundreds of people and thousands of dollars into their regions, and as of now, Vermilion County is not one of them. Eureka, Illinois, a small town with a population of 5,000, is home of the Northwoods Black Disc Golf Course. Eureka will soon attract more than 2,000 disc golfers to their annual tournament. This becomes a huge boon to the economy as these players spend money in town in a multitude of ways. J.D. D'Alfonso, President and CEO of Discover Peoria, said the event is estimated to bring $2 million in direct economic impact to the area. Other areas are growing, improving, doing, and thriving. In Vermilion County, several of us are stuck waiting. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you. Comments?
Well, thank you, Dustin, for the comments today. I think in our emails we've discussed about having a meeting, and as Dustin said, I don't mind trying to set a meeting. I know the council's allocated $50,000 at the discretion of the commissioners if the majority agrees. I have no problem setting a meeting today if a majority of the commissioners would like to set a meeting to discuss these in a work session or a special meeting.
I think something needs to be discussed here. The thing about it is the intention was to help local people and organizations. When you start off with something that is X and then it's changed to a different situation as far as amount, it puts everything in a very different perspective. We had some applied for $250,000. We had some applied for $50,000, and it was, I think the whole thing. I think all of us agreed in doing something. Except like Britain did not, and I respect Britain's perspective on it too, because if the council needs to use this money for something else, I think, if they need it, that's fine. At first, we thought that the amount would be the $2 million would totally be in the discretion of the commissioners to spend, but that was changed, and the council approved this $50,000. So that's where we're at. I mean, indecision is kind of hard when you're going to have to tell some people no, and coming up with that conclusion. I think that was one of the biggest problems. I have no problem dealing with the $50,000, but like I said, it's hard to. You can't satisfy everybody. So if you can't do it halfway to everybody, you're just kind of a place where you can't really do anything. I hate to say that, but I have no problem do it with 50, and then we could go ahead and address, getting another 50. But we got to come to some type of agreement how we're going to do that. And I think that RJ was over that, getting the grants and getting that program in, and it's up. I think that he'll take the lead on the rest of this and make his recommendation. And
well, Tim, if you want to do that again, I think it's just calling a meeting. The $50,000. I mean, originally, like you said, we maybe want to share that wealth across the applications, but I don't think that's going to be possible. I mean, we can split that up, but again, it's at the discretion of the majority of the commissioners. Just like the disc golf application, I'm going to throw out a number, Dustin. Was it 15,000?
Yeah, right around that.
15,000. Black Diamond Fire, I think, was 25,000. The Falcon Fund, I think, was like 60,000. So yeah, I mean, we could do a deal where we give each 10,000. Maybe we don't. Maybe we fund one 100%. Maybe we don't. So again, I'll just ask the majority of the commissioners here tonight: is there a meeting in the month of April or May that you guys would like to call? I'm willing to do a work session or a special meeting where we can actually vote and make decisions at a special meeting.
Like I said, I apologize. I mean, I think you got a good program there,
Can I make a
and
follow-up
I am not
comment?
against your program.
So, and just to be clear, I'm not trying to force a decision for my program or any other program. I think we can all accept no's. It's more of just the communication about the process, but I thank you for your apology.
So I would, like I said, part of the indecision making is how you be fair to everybody, and we're not going to be fair to everybody, and we can't be truthful with the amount that's put it. Nobody's going to get their money, and so therefore we're in a real predicament, and so. If we distribute to 50,000, which I have no problem doing that, but some people are not going to be happy, and that's just part of it. And so, you understand my situation,
100%.
and avoiding it. I said, you know, I was hesitant because I didn't know how to address and make everybody happy, and sometimes you just can't. And in fact, I thought we was going to have a larger amount, but then when this came up, it just stopped it. And the council is not against giving us another 50, and they're not against giving us more money, but they want to see what we can do. And I think that however we spend this money, it would determine how much more we get. And so I've always been in favor of doing it, but how do you do it fairly?
And I've still been in a position that the county has so many other obligations that we need to be filling, that these monies need to go to those programs, as opposed to, I was not in favor of opening this up to like we have, but now that we have, I agree with you, a decision needs to be made regardless. So.
I agree with you 100% on that. But we could set a meeting and just make a decision, and if however they come out. And like I said, it's not going to be a pleasant decision for.
Question for you though. You said that one's the small town. Sure, that'd be great. The one small town of 5,000. I don't remember the name of the town, but how did they fund that?
So the course itself, or the tournament as a whole?
No, the course.
The course. I believe it was a parks program. They had a lot of wooded area. The wooded area was donated. There's a person who's a director of the tournament, and they built it using volunteer hours. Then they filed something with the, you can get in the weeds, with
Sure.
the governing body of this, and then they made it a big deal and promoted it.
Is this an Illinois firm or
Correct.
Illinois project?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
You want to wait till, let's see, May? What's your guys' schedule like in May? Because Tuesday we have a meeting with NDOT, right? Yeah, so probably next week, and then next week's the election.
Why don't we
You want to
talk
email
a
and
little bit
converse,
later,
yeah,
and
just
then we'll
check
set
everybody's
the
schedule.
time. Yeah, I don't like doing this through public comment. It's
Yeah.
really not appropriate.
Yeah. So when we think we'll make a date by the next 2-3 days, and then just
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, we will make make a comment about that, or not a comment, we'll make a decision on the date, and we will deal with that. And like I said, the whole issue with this is how to be fair, and we're not going to be fair to everybody. And I don't like doing things like that unless we can equal distribute it and make some headway in this. So, as you suggested, we will move on, and we cannot guarantee the results of anybody. We just can't. So, thank you very much for your time. Okay, Catherine Hamilton, we got that right? Hamilton Center, start me. Hamilton Center.
Hamilton Center is here. We're just hand delivering letters to all of you and the commissioners. Hamilton Center was chosen as one of 8 entities from the state of Indiana who is currently applying for a federal grant to become a CCBHC demonstration state. CCBHC stands for Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic. And so if that grant goes through, then we will also be basically starting that program. That program or model of treatment has emphasis on mobile crisis stabilization, integrating with the 988 crisis line, and a focus on primary health screenings. And that's really all I have. Yeah, it is a very
Are you
short
not
and
tied
sweet.
into 988 now?
Huh?
Are you not tied into 988 now?
We are not quite yet. So how this will kind of operationalize once we kind of get there is that essentially, let me kind of look and make sure I'm telling you correctly. So like 911 is for emergencies, the 988 will be for crisis, and it will connect to those in crisis within the community, and they will connect with the specialists like in our CDC, who will then eventually be able to reach out and speak with somebody who might be in crisis.
What happens when people dial 988 now?
Will they speak to their staff that's on call right now?
So it does get received?
Yes, it does get
Okay.
received currently. Yes.
What happens with the enhancement here? Does it come locally then, or what?
So if somebody were to call locally, then 988 would then connect with a local community CCBHC center, and then through our crisis diversion center, we would be able to reach out and kind of get them the services that they need at that
Do we know
point.
how many calls we've received now?
I
in
don't.
the
I don't have that
Vermillion
number, but
County?
I can find out.
Appreciate it. And this Clinton, or the location here will become a call
The
center?
CCBHC.
Yeah.
We will not have a call center here locally. Our main crisis
Sure.
diversion center is at our main center in Terre Haute.
But you'll have those initials here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So,
Can't reiterate those, but anyway.
yeah. The
I know, go
CC
4 at a time, that's
Yeah.
about it.
The CCBHC can be a mouthful.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Is that advertised anywhere, by the way, in locally? I see it on TV, but I don't see it locally anywhere. Call 988.
You know, it is. They're getting
Come back
rolled
up here if
out
you want.
more frequently. So.
What type of advertisement do we have in the county? Radio or where else?
Usually, what I have seen so far has been like at the gas stations. I usually see stickers or little posters. Some of the gas stations that have those little videos will have like the 988 commercials that run
Schools?
on those.
Schools?
So, schools I know are talking about it. I don't know how prevalent because again, I'm not there all of the time. I know that it is something that we utilize a lot with our consumers.
It's not anything I think of. I think of 911 all the time, but I don't think of 988 unless I
Right.
see it on TV and I go, oh, forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
So,
So it is there, and so if you know of somebody who is in crisis, 988 is a great resource.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Housing Study Thrive, West Central. You got anything on that, Brett?
Yeah, we received, Thrive did an overall for the district in which they cover, which is Clay, Vermillion, Park, Fountain. I'm not sure about one. But anyway, for the 5 districts that they cover, 5 counties that they cover, we have an overall that shows us what our count is as far as what the possibilities are in the county, or what they believe the possibilities are. And of that, it shows that we have somewhere between 150 to 250 new homes to be built in this area every year. And we're not doing that, but it has that possibility. And then part of the reason that we're not doing that is because of the lack of developers or people willing to develop in larger quantities than one custom home at a time, and having the property available to them. I'd like for us, there's a memorandum of understanding that takes this another step that some of the other communities have taken. It's an $18,000 investment. But the memorandum of understanding is to provide the next step of community involvement actually it's a marketing study that prepares the information where a developer or an individual for that matter, it makes it bank ready to be able to step in, to be able to show from the marketing analysis side that this is available and that the price of homes and the price in which they're working within is available to them where they can obtain the financing that they need. This came up where I'm wanting to carry this ball a little bit further with the Ernie Pyle school system, or what we're looking at as far as the community center there, of it being, we keep talking daycare, but there's 20 acres in this area. There's also 3 or 4 different wings besides what is being talked about for the daycare. With that being said, we have a kitchen there that Thrive could be using in pushing out lunches, or basically I guess it's 1 meal a day out of that center as well. We don't own it. It's something we could be doing. But with that being said, we have 20 acres there that I'd like to see us have the potential of developing into either senior or veteran housing. We can tie into the existing systems there. We can utilize the resources of that Ernie Pyle School, of the gym, the cafeteria, and the different portions of that building for their education, for meetings, etc. Thrive has a developer or developers that would be interested in stepping in and doing something like this if we ever can acquire the Ernie Pyle, to obtain the property anyway from the school system. This grant will go toward that possibility of being able to have this property developed in either, and possibly the adjacent properties to the school as well. We do have resources there. The resources are going to have to be vetted, of course, as far as water and sewer and electric, but the resources are there in part and can be expanded. We take the I-74 project that we're working on now as well. Unfortunately, I've not been able to spend the amount of time on this, but this type of study goes toward that development of those type areas. Whenever we look at multi-use, all the way from industrial, commercial to residential to parks, rec, whatever it might be. But this provides the basis for that marketing study, and if we would do this, this would be a continuation of that type thing. Same thing down here with, though we haven't initiated it yet, is the I-63 project. I'm sorry, I-63. There we go, Interstate of 63. The 163 project of working at 63 and 163, making this enterprise zone work as well. But if we have this in place, we can entice developers outside the community here that do larger projects, that can build things and meet our potential here that we're not even coming close to developing of 160, on the bottom side, I guess it's 166 homes a year. So I'd like for us to approve this. Again, this gets us to the point that it has use for the whole county. But it's for an individual to go out to do this, they would pay this amount of money to do a marketing study in itself. And so we tag on to what Thrive is already doing, tag on with what they've already provided us as far as a high level look at the county, and get this down to where the point that we can do actually true marketing and be able to provide this. And if we look at the RISE, I'm not sure it helps the RISE as much, but it certainly doesn't hurt the RISE whenever you look at the support that needs to go to the RISE as well, as far as our development there. And the same thing with the industrial center, or the commercial center down at Clinton. So, and the different, what are they called? The tax increment financing, TIFs. There you go, I have to say it out. But it'll help along with the TIFs to be able to develop those as well. So this provides all that information in one place, and for the price of it, gives us some real potential right now, assuming that the redevelopment is able to acquire the Ernie Pyle School, and I think that has to do with the Ready Grant somewhat. We'll have to see where those fall.
With that being said about the Ready Grant, I think that there was $70 million of projects that was applied for in our district, and there was $10 million funding came out of it. I do not believe that we will probably receive any money from the Ready Grant. That's just the way it's looking right now. And I do not believe that the what we want is going to come about.
Well, regardless, if we're going to push forward, ready or not, ready or not, anyway. If we're going to have private enterprise come in here, we have a chance here. If redevelopment's not going to do anything, it still applies to the county as far as the Ernie Pyle goes. But I'd be very disappointed if we don't have the Ernie Pyle School in hand this year, or toward the end of this year anyway. I'd be very disappointed at that.
I want it to happen. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to happen. The funding there, so I think it will, and hope it does. I hope I'm wrong, but.
I hope you're
When
wrong
you have
too.
$70 million of projects, there's only $10 million awarded. It's kind of getting really.
Well, I
down.
agree,
That's
but
just
there's
like
other
saying-
funds out there. There's other means of things happening, and daycare. Again,
Yep.
that school is only looking at utilizing a portion of that. There's other opportunities
Right.
there besides
Right.
the daycare, and these can support that.
So your question today is that
I want the memorandum of understanding approved by the commissioners to spend $18,000 to complete the marketing study, basically for the county, to put it down into the point that is usable for individuals and the county for that matter.
do we have the
Brendan,
funding in place for that?
Hmm?
Funding in place for that?
Yeah, we don't, but if we approve it here, I will take it to the council
Okay.
for appropriate. I'm not saying we have the monies available to us, no.
Yeah.
I don't know that we do.
Did
But
you-
if we don't agree with it, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think there's potential with it. Looking at this email, I guess I missed this. Well, I guess it was sent on here. They've done analysis for Vigo, Clay, and Park. Is that right?
I can't tell you which ones for sure that they've done you mean what
Yeah,
I'm
this-
asking for now?
Well, no, this is for your reference, but this looks like it was just sent to you. But I didn't know if you viewed those because I
I
haven't.
thought I
actually-
sent all this to you guys, no?
You might have, and I might have just. Well, it's printed off here, but I was trying to see if that was on the chain where it was all sent to us. That I didn't know if it was or not. Because I was going to ask what it showed for them if they, with Park and Vigo.
I can't answer that question,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't seen it myself yet, so.
I'm sorry, I thought I forwarded this to you.
I know I got this one. but-
This is not recently, this has been hanging fire for 2 months, 3 months. It's been a while.
Yeah, I thought we just the 12th we got this one, but I didn't because on here it's got the links to Vigo, Clay, and Parks that they've done, and that's what I wanted to kind of look at was the ones they've done.
Yeah, and that would be a good, if those are available to you.
Yeah.
Those would be good ones to look at.
That's what I was gonna ask. If I don't have it on my email, I might see if you'll. Well, I guess I can ask Julie to forward it to me too if it's not.
Primarily, this is a marking and analysis, and it does provide the information for financing that, well, even an individual, like if you're going to build a house yourself,
Mhm.
or for sale that is anyway, it gives you the analysis to support that, or not to support it for that matter. It tells
Yeah.
what ranges that you can build in and have some success at being able to
Well,
complete the sale.
I read your email you sent the 12th. I just didn't get the copy of the 3 links, but even without reviewing them, I do believe housing is a need in the county, and I would be in favor of approving the memorandum today.
Appreciate it. And we have an immediate need, well, we don't, unless we get there in the Pyle School. We
Yeah.
do have a developer willing to come in and to start processing, putting this together to make sure it's feasible anyway at that property.
Yeah.
So,
Proceed then, I guess, right?
okay.
Proceed.
You guys in
Yeah,
agreement?
I'm in agreement with that.
I'll see if the council will appropriate the
Okay.
monies then. Thank you.
Which meeting do you want? May?
Yes, yes. This year.
Clark Dietz, we had a big change on our road miles, right?
It wasn't yes, no. They came back, and I haven't read it yet. They came back and said that it is not as many miles as they said. There was over 500 some odd, 30.
Yeah.
It's down into the 400s, and I don't know why yet. They sent something this last week, and I've not gotten to that.
Yeah. I spoke to Patrick the other day on another matter, and
He mentioned it?
he mentioned on the phone that centerline miles, it came down to the 400 number, and it was much more reasonable, closer to what we were at, but he doesn't know why it was so high, if it was a database issue or what the issue was. He said he would let us know, so.
And I haven't gotten any further outside
Yeah.
that.
And we can hear on that later then, I guess.
We did receive, and I haven't got to it either, we have received a few more spreadsheet analysis to look at that. At some point in time, where are we at with the engineer, by the way, since we're...
We are waiting
on that
for a
topic?
contract to be sent to us from Park County, a proposed contract that we can look at.
Okay.
We haven't received that yet.
We do need to move on that with the database available to us now, and the analysis of that really needs somebody to take time to sit there and digest it and put it in good order.
So this task order, we're not doing anything with it then? That's on the agenda?
Which task order is that?
Task order number 8 for Clark Dietz, but that's to update 390 miles to 550, which seems like they're working.
That task, we should find out, well, you were going to find out something. I forget, remember last meeting you wanted to review something?
Well, it was the miles, the 550 miles.
We need to, I suggest we find out why the discrepancy here.
Yeah. He didn't really have a good answer on the phone for me on what that discrepancy, what caused it or why it was that big of a discrepancy.
Well, I wanted to do it last time. You wanted to find out something, but I think I want to find out something else.
you can call Patrick, let us know.
There's a large discrepancy there, or there is a discrepancy, however it is. I don't like this yo-yo.
Moving on, second reading amended sewage system ordinance.
I had arranged a meeting with Dr. Mark, and unfortunately she didn't make it back from Indianapolis in time for our meeting, and there's still some questions outstanding, so I would suggest that we table that again until the next meeting, till we can meet.
Okay.
If you want to discuss it, I'm willing to discuss parts of it, but I think we need to work through it
We just need to get it resolved by next meeting. Moving on, the ambulance. A lot of moving parts right now. There's a lot of positive things happening. We will have a new ambulance here Thursday, right?
Thursday, the parts were supposed to be in today, installed tomorrow, and then he's supposed to drive it over on Thursday.
Okay. There's been some talk about housing, figuring out what we're going to do with to make this work. We do have a suggestion. We did get a price from one building north that they offered to sell it to us for $140,000. That's on the table, and I know we're going to give RJ time to try to find, if he's got something else, a better idea, give him a chance to voice what he has, and we'll consider what's going on and what we...
Sure. With that, I emailed you guys what little options that I were able to find since Friday of last week. There was a possibility in Perrysville, but awaiting phone calls back on that, and I believe that one would take a lot of renovations. There is a house for sale in Cayuga, $50,000. Left multiple messages, emails, phone calls with realtors. Cannot confirm, just like I wrote in the email, certain things, whether it's appraisals or inspections. With that, I don't know if you guys got the latest email that I sent. Per the Cayuga Town Board and the fire chief, they are willing to offer their facility. Ambulance parks outside underneath the carport. They have shower. I'm going to say showers, but I think it's just one shower. Office space, etc. They did say they did not want them sleeping in the facility, so that leaves kind of a gray area for the staff for the ambulance. And then I did speak to the fire chief at Perrysville today. And Brent, would you like to come up and kind of? I'll let him kind of talk since he's here on what maybe Perrysville would be willing to offer or not offer, I should say.
spoke with RJ earlier today, and you know, the options that we have right now are kind of slim, but we would be willing to house the people there at our station if the county would be willing to kind of assist with some renovations as far as putting a shower in. We have the space available to do so. We have the space available to put living quarters in there. That's not set up for it now. It wouldn't take much. The existing HVAC system we have would occupy it and accompany it. We just have to put 2 more of the wall-mounted units in for living quarters. But we have the available room to do so, if that's something that you guys want to approach later on, just as a temporary setup until we get something set as far as a permanent facility.
What do you consider temporary?
However long it's going to take to get something permanent. I mean, we can't go without having coverage in the north end of the county, period. I mean, we've...
Brent, have you
But
guys...
That's never been discussed about not having coverage in North End. They always have coverage in North End.
Has the fire chief, have you guys talked about a lease or a rent type of agreement, or has that been brought up with you guys at the fire department, what you guys would consider?
We would consider that. I mean, it was just, we would have to do a little bit more study on what it's going to take to be able to house somebody there.
Yeah.
What the increase in cost would be, because right now it's not a manned station. It's not occupied 24/7. We are a volunteer agency. But it would definitely be feasible to do so. I mean, the building is sound. We would just have to make some changes to be able to staff it where you could have occupants in there 24 hours a day. That way they'd have sleeping quarters, living quarters.
Yeah.
We already have the fully staffed kitchen, or stock kitchen rather. Restroom facilities are there. We would have to add a shower, which is not a horrible thing to do. But we do have extra space where we could take and put 2 bedrooms in. That way they would have sleeping quarters, and we could leave it as that until something permanent was built. But that way it would alleviate some of the stress trying to find something.
Yeah.
I know it's taken us 2 years to do the annex. It's taken us 8 years to do the jail. It's taken us 8 years to get an engineer, and we haven't done that yet. It took us 6 to 9 months to move the Board of Health just to a different building. That's why I was asking about what's temporary, because I don't know that the funding doesn't appear. Well, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get the funding for this in the first run that we were looking at anyway. Not that it won't be available from other sources, but it takes us time to be able to move in the county. We're a big ship, I guess, almost. We don't move very fast, and we don't turn very fast. It wouldn't surprise me that this isn't a 3-year ordeal when it comes down to it. That's the reason why I was asking you what you consider temporary. But we've already been at this for a year and a half now, looking at ambulance facilities and different things at this point, and we still are in flux a little bit. We have some nice plans and some ideas, but they're not. We're not made brick and mortar out of them yet, anyway. So I appreciate that.
We could probably work with that time frame, but I just want to make sure that we have our bases covered for the people in the county. That's our biggest concern overall.
Sure.
So the biggest cost, would you say, would be just helping you guys renovate for the bathroom?
That would be
and
the bathroom, adding in a couple bedrooms.
Couple beds.
Simply. We've got open space in the building that we can convert over to it. The HVAC system that we updated to will accommodate more units in there to be able to heat and cool, because the section right now that we could add living quarters into is not cooled. It is heated.
Yeah.
But it gets awful warm in there in the summertime, and I don't think you want to be sleeping in there.
So if the majority of the commissioners or even the council would agree, to something like this, and say we needed it Friday, how quick would something like a shower? I mean, I know we have a big community, and I think there could be a lot of people step up to help, but do you think that would be something we could muster with, somebody like Tony Jacobs or some local contractors that could really help step up to?
I imagine we could. I don't think we could probably have everything completed, because we'd have to empty out part of that space to be able to make room for it. But it could probably be done within 30 days or less. Probably
You're familiar
closer
with
to
the
30
current
days.
ambulance service where they're located? Do you think that position's better than going to just leaving them where they're at?
You're going to be stretching your time no matter which direction you move them. So, I mean, if you move them further north, you're going to stretch your response times going south. If you move them further south, you're going to stretch your response times.
I don't mean response times. I just mean facilities-wise.
I don't think it's going to be much different. I mean, they're in a building now that they can't house the ambulances in. So
Can
there's-
you house ambulances
We
there?
could, if we move some things around, I think we could probably house one in there.
How about two?
Two is not.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
Maybe a carport outside next to
Yeah,
the,
I mean,
next to
we've
the.
got room there that you could put a carport up outside on the back
I
side of the
was,
building.
I was kidding.
No, but in all honesty, there is room there to do that.
Well, no, I was talking about housing and environmental
Yeah.
structure.
Even on the north side of the building, we could add on to that if it came down to it, to be able to house something. We have room there. We also have a building across the road that the ambulance could be placed in, or we could place some of our equipment in during.
Our time frame is anywhere from now until July 1st. Come July 1st, everything has got to be in place. And maybe now, but anywhere from now to July 1st.
Like I
That's
said,
the time
It's an
frame.
option that we're willing to put on the table to be able to assist.
Okay. Thank you.
And is this something with the renovations, that you're wanting like a 50-50 cost share, or like 100% Vermillion County kind of like steps in and?
I would think at least 50/50. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not something that we were planning on doing, but we would be willing to do part of that to be able to help just
Well,
submit things. And
yeah,
make sure
yeah.
we covered these kids without having to
Yeah.
have them haul in
Well,
a trailer, be able to keep them indoors.
Yeah, well, I mean, my personal opinion, I'd be willing to probably foot the entire cost, because $140,000 for
You
a
personally?
thing. Personally, as a commissioner.
Wow. Oh.
As a commissioner, because $140,000 for a location is a lot, but if a local fire department can do it for whatever that number may be, say it's 5,000, 10,000, whatever your lease cost is or rent cost, we're still going to be, in my opinion, money ahead in the years coming, So that's just where I'm at on it, but I appreciate you coming tonight and offering this up as a possibility.
Have you got permits already in place for this? It does require state permit on that. Okay.
As far as renovating the interior of a structure,
For doing that, for occupancy like that, yeah.
because it's already set up. I mean, technically, you could have people living there. There's just not a.
Well,
technical-
technically, it requires permits unless you're already structured for that. Are you already structured for living quarters?
Might have to check into it and see.
Okay. Well, if you are, it's a difference. Otherwise, state permits take a little while. Okay.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
You got a new ambulance coming in. We've been working with Park County. Everything there looks good so far. Friday we have an opening for proposals. Is it this Friday?
At 8:30. 8:30 Friday morning. We'll open proposals. I would assume that we would take them under advisement. I don't know that we would go into a full-blown discussion, but we can at that time if we wish. I just wouldn't advise. I think we want to, if whatever proposals we have, we'll probably want to take under advisement, I would think.
Also want to make
I
a
would
mention
recommend
that we're partnering with Park County on this, so any decision we make is also ran by Park County for, see what they think also about it, so. Okay, where we go from here with the ambulance situation?
I'm going to have to digest whether that works or not, and it also depends on timing on whether they're actually structured for occupancy there for this type of occupancy. Do you house people there now?
We don't currently, we have before, depending on the situation.
Are you set up for full-time firefighters?
No, not currently.
Okay. This is something I would like to pursue, but this is the 3-year plan of, not the 90-day plan, but anyway. Eventually, I'd like to get to some point like that on both ends of the county, and maybe the middle for that matter.
The big thing needs to be noted, we as commissioners have thought forward on all this. We've got new ambulance facilities designed and thought you was on the board of that. I appreciate your help in that. We've had them designed. We've been very active in pursuing locations. North Vermillion has and give us permission to eventually put a new facility there at North Main High School in the northwest corner of the property. We got a letter from Fairview that's in favor of talking about putting one there at by the sewer plant, by the old softball field, right next to, across the road from South Main and South Main Junior High School. And also after we've done the design, we went and applied for Ready Grant. So we've been very aggressive trying to get this done and in the future, but now we got accelerated decisions we have to make. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be in 60 days.
We do have another timetable of council too, because all this is an additional appropriation, of which is, if we're going to make the next council anyway, is Monday, or tomorrow, actually, Wednesday. That we need so a decision, or otherwise we're potentially out another 30 days or at least 20 days.
You don't put in an additional appropriation. If you don't need it, then
The thing about
we can always
But this
put
is
it
real.
in the paper and then.
If it's a lease, which might be palatable with that, but on the purchase of property, it's not, because the council has to approve purchase of property, and I don't, do they approve monies without knowing what property they're purchasing?
No, I'm saying if we put it in the paper tomorrow, whatever dollar amount you ask for,
Mm-hmm.
we can put it in the paper, as long as it doesn't go above that. You have now, from that, now until the actual meeting, to decide what you want to spend it on. The paper advertisement does not maybe what you're spending that money on, it just tells you where the money's coming from.
John, on the council approval of purchased properties, what are the requirements on that?
Talking about real estate?
Real estate, yes.
Let me get the statute real quick. I think it's tied to, it's a really small number. It's like it's worth more than
$1,000, but what is the mechanisms why it
Well,
meant?
how much is
Not that they don't
sanctioned?
have to, because they'll have to,
You can ask for $300,000 and they can give you $100 of it.
but I know. It's just a matter of whether there's other things that, if you have to identify the parcel that you're doing, or whether you can just say, I just want money.
It's only 2 sentences long. I'll
You
get
mean
it
the
for
actual
you.
advertisement?
Okay, we can go on.
I don't remember the exact wording of it, but I'll
Sure.
get it for you in the next few minutes.
the reasoning behind the possibility of using an existing facility is because it's already there. It's in place. It's there. Number two is the investment. There would be an investment of $140,000 if we would decide to do that. That will get us through anything until we build a new facility. The important thing about it is whatever money you spent there, you will get that money back. The appraisal was a good appraisal on it, and it would be a very simple process. If we go a different route, which I got a letter from, I don't know if you guys got it yet, from Julie. She recommended purchasing that building, so they do carry some weight in this decision making because they will be managing it also. But I'm open to suggestions. I'm just saying right now that's, I think the cure right now, if we need it right now, we got that.
My personal opinion is, with Chief Lewis coming up here tonight, I think moving towards the Perrysville Fire Department idea, they're willing to station them, update their facility, and at the end of the day, it's a lot lower cost to the county and to the taxpayers. I don't know what that lease cost or rent agreement will look like, but I'm sure it'll be a lot less than $140,000. The comment on we will get the $140,000 back if we sell it, that's a possibility. I don't think anyone can predict the market in a year, 2 years, 5 years. Maybe you get it back, maybe you don't. So yeah, my opinion is that if we can move forward on the Perrysville fire, I think that would serve the county well.
We're open to those suggestions. We just need figures and things to look at. I mean, right now we got a set cost to resolve all of this, and
We do have a plan, or not plan, but what do you want to call it? I'll call it a plan to move forward with that and be able to continue service without interruption. We're not guaranteed that that we won't have interruption, or that permits are not required, which would put us out, I'm not sure how far. Somebody's going to have to draft those plans though. Also, so we're out 90 days even before you start permitting or start construction up there, unless they're already permitted for occupancy.
I think we need to talk to Julie about the time frame and stuff
Yeah, John.
like that.
It just says, a conveyance or purchase by a county of land having a value of $1,000 or more must be authorized by an ordinance of the county fiscal body fixing the terms and conditions of the transaction.
So we don't have to identify anything. They just have to.
It says what it says. I emailed you each a copy of it.
Okay. Some things have so many parts to it, and this is so simple. I like the idea. I can't say I've been around your station, but I haven't been inside of it, around it. I just wish we knew more about it today.
I think that another week of time or something, and if
Let's
they want to
put
try to come up with
let's go ahead and appropriate, or ask for the appropriation. If nothing else, if it goes to, it'll go to something anyway, whether it's going to go to renovation of a station or to the purchase of property. It gets us into the council's corner anyway, and that gives us 10 days. When does the council meet? 13th of May. It gets us on the council's agenda anyway. And it'll allow us the monies to, if that doesn't pan out, or we find out that it's going to take longer than we think, there's not enough information there. I like the idea, but there's just not enough information there. And we don't want to put the county at risk, is when it comes down to it. Doing this other way, we are not at risk, and this keeps our option open to be able to do that, as long as the property's still available to us and it's not sold before July 1st to someone else.
Malcolm, Harry, you got anything to comment on this?
I think the smart move is advertise the $140,000. Tomorrow is your deadline to get that done. But the council meeting comes along and you find a better way, a cheaper way, or a more expensive way, then you can explain that to the council. And if it comes out that you want to buy the building for $140,000, it's already done. All they have to do is approve or disapprove. That house, there's a lot more into running an ambulance out of a building than just having some place for people to sleep and shower. They got to be able to communicate. So having this firehouse already has radios, already has the phones, all that kind of stuff in there. And I think, like Britton said, I think in the long run, having a north firehouse and a south firehouse that runs an ambulance service would be a really smart move, and really benefit the county. There was some talk in the past about that, but it kind of fell through due to whatever reasons. So I think the smart move right now is advertise the $140,000. Spend the next 2 weeks trying to narrow this down. I will say that there's a lot of stuff about the people not parking that ambulance in the building there. The only reason they weren't parking that ambulance in the building is because the owner of the company had his own personal property in there. The ambulance will fit in the building. It's not optimum for it because the antennas on the top are taking a beating. So you drive the ambulance in and out 100 times. Now you're having trouble talking on your radio. But there's a contractor looking at that building. He told me by the end of the week he'd have me an estimate to raise it a foot, which would clear the antennas perfectly. You just put one more panel on the door basically and you're good to go.
It sounds like best we need to apply for funding, and then we got the alternative to do whatever.
Well, like I agree with you, Tim. The $140,000, it's something that will come back, even if we got 90% of it back. But the chances with the housing market that we have currently, that we will most likely recover our. What I like about it is it's seamless, or not as seamless as we are. Right? I do like the idea with the fire department. I'd still like to investigate that, but let's get the monies in and get it going. Brent, can you come back up? You were on the ambulance committee. part of the considerations were locations and what to do in going forward with a more permanent facility, I'll call it. On the interim basis, did you guys ever consider anything about an interim basis before the ambulance service, or even think about that portion of it?
We had off and on, but we've been focusing on other things at the station, trying to get things squared away there.
Well, I meant that when you were on the ambulance committee. Yeah, that part of it, the 4 or 5 of you, however many there were. Did you guys? What would your committee have to say about this?
I'm unsure. It's been a while since we've all met together.
Yeah, what would you say then?
I mean,
Let's narrow it down.
Yeah, I'm for whatever is going to benefit the county and the people in it. I mean, that's our whole goal.
Sure.
That's the whole purpose of us being there, is to be able to serve the county, be able to help the people in the county, and to make sure that they get the coverage they need when they need. So
We'll talk
we're
some
willing
more.
to,
Thanks.
We're willing to do whatever it needs to happen to try and make that happen.
Yeah, thanks. We'll talk
Well,
some
Brian,
more.
if they're talking about this advertising the cost, or the 140 or whatever, and we're going to investigate with Perrysville some more, is there some steps you're willing to follow through, or with us to, like, whether it's the state to see if you need a state permit, or if it's, B, what's the cost going to be to renovate, so we can have some numbers, whether it's 5,000, 20,000, whatever it is,
Yeah,
and then at the last part of it, maybe a lease or whatever number Perrysville Fire is thinking, so then we can have all that information. And
That's where I was going with this.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need to talk.
yeah.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same.
List of what you're wanting, I'll get it compiled for you and get it back to you.
But someone's going to have to take. You're going to take.
I
the
want
lead
new
on this.
facilities.
I can work with Brent on
I
this.
want new
and-
facilities.
Not going to happen that quick.
Yeah.
I can take the lead on this if you guys want. I can
Yeah.
work with Brent. I'll share all that information with you guys
Sure.
and Brendan and Kylie, and and Mark, make sure everybody's on the same page.
I think the biggest thing is get the funding, at least.
140, or you want to do more than the 140?
Well, it's going to take more than 140 to purchase something. By the time you purchase it, you got other issues, title work, so forth.
Yeah,
it needs to be
2,700.
150,000 or so.
Yeah.
And if we can, how does that get advertised? Just 150,000 for?
I can advertise it out of several different funds, and then it gives the council options to choose where they want to give it to.
Yeah, what I was going at it is that maybe this same funding can be applied elsewhere.
Yep.
Thank you.
Very good.
The greatest flexibility.
So what we want is options.
And council may say no altogether, so.
Yeah. Okay, county handbook review update. Anybody got anything on
Brandon and I sent out an email. There's a short list of proposed changes. Handbook already establishes what elected officials are on the committee. We're going to get together and pick a date for a meeting and send out notice to all the members of the committee, and then have a meeting and go over proposed changes.
Most excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Announcement. Where's Amanda at? She's hiding back there. Come on up here. Please. Please.
For the bicentennial, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay, so this weekend is going to be the Vermilion County Bicentennial. It's going to start on Friday for a field trip for all county 4th graders to come to the courthouse and have a tour. They'll get to meet all of our officials here, kind of get an idea of what all happens. They'll have some interaction time with the judge in the courtroom of how the legal segment works, and then also in the auditorium being able to have a treat and sing happy birthday to the county and things of that sort. So it'll be a lot of fun on Friday. We'll go down to the library to unveil the time capsule for them. All of these students have wrote a letter to their future selves 50 years from now. And so they'll have, it'll be short of time, but as many as we can get in that time period, they'll be able to read their letters, and then they will personally put that letter in the time capsule themselves. Each class will also bring an item that they will collectively come up with. It's just one small item that they'll put in the time capsule. Then there's a few things of the county that we'll put in. All of the students, courtesy of the Community Foundation, will be receiving a t-shirt. So we'll put a t-shirt in there. They'll also get a souvenir coin. So one of those will go in there along with a library card and a few other things. And so they'll also get to do a groundbreaking with the commissioners at the end of the day to be able to dig the hole for this time capsule right before they head back to school. So it'll be a great day on Friday. I'm super excited for them on that. And then on Saturday will be a community event here at the courthouse as well. Definitely everybody please pray for no rain. But the Van Dyne High Ability class will be putting their wax museum on display. I've seen pictures emailed to me. I cannot wait to see it in person. It's great projects that the students have done for famous people in history from Indiana. And so it'll be on the 3rd floor. We'll have town history displays. The South Vermilion and North Vermilion bands and choir will be here to perform. They have a couple numbers that they're going to perform together, so I'm anxious to see that, of the two schools coming together to perform at the same time, along with a few other organizations. And then at noon, we'll have a flag raising. The bands and choirs are going to do some patriotic music, sing the national anthem, things of that sort, and then we will bury the time capsule at that time. So I do want to just make mention of a few other things going on Saturday as well. Not only are we having the bicentennial here, but the 4-H Fun Fest and Ag Day is going to be at the fairgrounds from 11 to 2. So once you're here and enjoy the bicentennial event, you can run over there and have lunch from the junior leaders, see what that's about, and then make sure that you're back at the county annex at 1 for them to do the ribbon cutting there. And then from 10 to 2, they're also voting here at the courthouse. So it's a great day for Vermilion County with lots of things going on. So make sure to get out, and even if there's a little sprinkle, throw on a poncho and it will still be fun.
The road will be closed here on the south side of the square. It'll also be closed on the east side.
Did you mention open house too?
Yeah.
Yes,
Ribbon
that's the one
cutting?
with the ribbon
Okay.
cutting. Yeah.
That's the ribbon cutting, okay.
Well, thanks
So-
to everybody putting that on. I think Tim, Amanda, whoever has been involved in that, very detailed.
Kathy.
I still have to follow up with some of my duties on the 3rd floor, I think, with courtroom etiquette that I don't know anything about. So. Yeah, being a babysitter, I guess, on the 3rd floor. So thank you to that. And I want to also thank Furry Incorporated. I think they donated the time capsule as well, so it's really, really nice. So thank you for that as well.
Also Hillsdale for
Yeah.
all their work, preliminary work, or
The community.
first birthday party. Oh, Hillcrest.
Yes.
Did I say
Yeah.
Hillsdale?
The community grant that they gave us for the $2,000
Yeah,
came
Community
from.
Foundation.
T-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
One of the neat
Most
things
excellent.
about this is these kids will be able to put this in a box and possibly come back in 50 years and dig it back up, you know. It's like kind of unique experience, but look forward to that. It's a great thing to happen here in Vermilion County, and again, thank everybody for being involved. Also, like I said, the ribbon cutting will be after that for the annex. It will be open if you want to walk through it. The soil and water representative will be there, and then someone from the public defenders will be there also, so you can see how that is. A nice project, turned out good, and really nice situation. The Community Crossing grant, I did want to make an announcement that we did get $2 million. We got $1.5 million from the state this year. They upped it by considerable amount, and this year we've got a total of $2 million. And I appreciate RJ going and getting a check presentation for the governor. I also want to commend those that do the work on that. There's 4 people that have been involved with our Community Crossing grant for years. I've seen them sitting in a gas station before. I've seen them sitting here late at night and everybody going home, and they have put in a lot of work that makes this grant happen. That is Melissa Weibel. Melissa Weibel's been with us since the beginning of the grant. She gives a lot. Kylie Yoakum, she works in the auditor's office. Brenda Furry, and then Mike Kleik, who's over the Highway Department. Those four have put in a lot of time, and they need recognition. We got a picture of them earlier tonight. I'd like to give to Eric for the paper. But that's what it takes. It takes dedication and a lot of hard work to make these things happen. I want to say thank you as grant administrator from the beginning of this program. Has been a tremendous success. I think now we've got a total of like $10.2 million, I think, so far has came in our county from that grant program, which has been really good. And our roads are, you drive to other counties, you'll find out we've got a pretty good county. So appreciate those involved. Moving on, I got a call today about I-74 corridor project. We're looking at doing a presentation, and we're looking at maybe doing it next week if it's possible for everybody to attend that next
Except for
Wednesday.
Tuesday.
What?
Except for Tuesday.
Okay. Would next Wednesday be a doable day to do that? Lena sent me the stuff and said she could do it next week, and I told her I'd have to ask you all to see if you all were in favor of doing that presentation, and press release and all that will be coming out. But it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
All.
Pending checking my schedule, I should be available Wednesday.
Wednesday's fine.
Yeah.
Tuesday's just the only day I'm out of pocket, or I got meetings all day.
Wednesday and noonish, would that work?
Are you doing it here, an online meeting, or?
No, it's going to be an actual presentation. Probably do it right here in the courtroom, courthouse, or somewhere here.
I would prefer not right in the middle of lunch hour, but if that's all you guys can do, I will try to get off work for it. But I would prefer,
We can have it at Angie's.
Not sure mom
Free
would
food,
like
free
that.
food.
Yeah, mom will give you some free drinks, food. I don't know about, but I mean, if we could do like 1 o'clock would probably be better
Okay.
instead of noon. But I would
We'll work
prefer
with
that
you. I
if
mean,
you guys could.
that's anything to make it work out. And if we do 1 o'clock Wednesday.
I'm open.
1 o'clock, I could. Yeah.
What day would that be?
Wednesday.
May the 1st.
May the 1st. Cannot believe it's May the 1st.
May the force be with you on
May
Saturday.
the 1st at 1 o'clock here
In the courtroom.
in the courtroom. She has press release.
You'll
in-
send something out on this, right?
Yeah, I just talked to her today, so
Yeah,
it's.
send me an email
There was
with
no
the dates.
There was no reason to progress any farther until we all approved, the time, and that's what I was trying to do, make
Awesome.
it May the 1st at 1 o'clock in the courtroom. Okay. Tar recycling day, to the Rise, May 11th, 8 a.m. to noon. Okay.
We
Except
need-
for tractor tires, right? I
We
think
need
it's
to
passenger
set
cars.
an executive session for Monday or sometime here following the opening of the proposals on Friday to be able to discuss these and then to start interview process if we have, depending on how many we have. So
Set a time, see if you two can work it out. I'm off that day, but
Monday will be the first day that we can do it, or later, but it can be later. It doesn't have to be that day. It could be Wednesday.
How long?
You want to do 2 of them?
Except for Tuesday, I'm all right.
How long is the presentation, do you think?
I'd reserve an hour for it.
An hour?
I'd be safe.
You could do immediately following the presentation or the 1 o'clock meeting. That way you can.
2 o'clock on it then.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, unless you can do immediately following. Because
How
if you
much
can.
time do you want to restrict to proposals? 15 minutes, an hour?
I mean, if we do it
Day.
at 2 o'clock or after the main meeting, so whatever it takes.
Okay. Well, we don't have to decide that now, but you might be thinking about how much time we're going to allow for presentations. I don't know if we're going to have one or,
Yeah.
well, we have at least 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many more we may have.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
Second thing is that we need
Try for 2
to,
o'clock
So Wednesday. Okay.
Wednesday.
After. Okay.
anyway, that's what we're going to have a special meeting to discuss these monies as to what we're going to present to council. So sometime before the council meeting, we're going to need to meet, so we need to look at a date for that as well, to finalize whatever our presentation is to council going to be.
On what situation on them?
Whether we're buying a
140.
house, or we're
Okay.
renovating a fire station, or we're not doing, or whatever we're doing, building a new building, whatever it might be.
Okay.
If we can build a new one for $150,000, I could vote for that.
I'd vote for it too.
So you want to piggyback off of these 2 meetings with that too?
I think we need to push it as far out to you say they meet the 13th of May? We need to meet closer to the 13th
That way they
to give
allow
us much
time.
time to be able to
Get
garner
information.
their information.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I don't know, or how much time do you need? Hey Brent, how much time do you think you need to gather all your information that you're going to be able to?
Probably a couple weeks. Maybe a week, 2 weeks, that's what
I
2
just think
weeks,
that
wow.
whatever decision,
Monday the 6th, remember that, it's Monday.
Yeah.
May.
Because of the elections, to the Monday, and it's a morning meeting.
Or, yeah, and then you gotta have 48 hours notice, so you could, for a special meeting anyway, so you still could have it that week if you had to.
the main thing I think we need to come to agreement on what we're doing by that date. I mean, we regardless which way it goes.
Oh yeah, that's a
we
do or
have
die
to.
day. Yeah.
We have to.
So we'd probably wait a little bit closer, and I'll work with Brent and try to see if he can't get it in 3 days instead of a week. No, I'm just kidding. That's too unreasonable.
Well, it needs to be
But-
real numbers, not
Yeah.
this ethereal stuff won't cut it come whatever day we're meeting. If it's still up in the air, then my vote will be definitely going to the House. So, if we don't have this tied down pretty solid, then
Yeah.
that's going to be.
Well,
It's probably
I'll
not
work
gonna
with Brent and
happen.
make sure we get it by a certain date. That way we can review both of them.
Our biggest thing is gonna be the, see where that's.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, I got that contract,
Mhm.
Awesome.
So like I said, we got a date here that
It'll
we
be
have to come
Homeland
up with.
Security.
You know, we have to.
They'll be able to give you an answer whether you can or can't, or what you have to do anyway. If anything.
Okay.
So you want to make that decision at the meeting on the 6th, or in that
How many days? That gives them 2 weeks.
Or you want to do it
Well,
that day?
let's do it on the 6th. Just have everything ready for the 6th. If they're not, then on the 6th we'll have to have a special meeting before the
If it's
13th.
not, yeah, we could call it after.
So, shoot for the 6th, Brent, for our meeting that day. Is that a morning meeting? It's a morning meeting, so.
I'll have the information for you, but I probably won't do it.
That's all right. I may not
I'll
be
be
awake
working.
either. So, you'll be at work.
I'll be working all night the night before.
Hmm. Well, it's a Monday because Tuesday we're not. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What? No, that's night
There's no
before
reason
election.
to.
It's night before election. I can't do that. Just get in the morning, get it over with.
Well, if we need a special meeting, if it's that close of a call, hopefully it's not a close call. So it's either got enough information or we don't, and it's good information, I guess.
Okay. Anybody have any closing comments and move forward?
I just want to say thanks to everybody at District 1 and District 3 for the countywide cleanup days. Again, it was an overall success. Went through a lot of trash, a lot of things. Mike Pike was able to have some students at Rose Holman volunteer some time up at Cayuga, and those kids had a blast working cleanup day. Found a lot of stuff for their college dorm, I think. Don't know that I would have took it down there, but I believe they took quite a bit. So congratulations to them, and just
It was a highway. Did Garage 2 participate too?
well, I don't think so. I think they had enough people, and then
From
Mike's.
Garage 1 and
Yeah, I
2.
think he
Okay.
sent them all up north. But there was, I think, 12 or 13 of them. Those Rose Holman kids were just, they were a blast. So yeah, thanks to anybody who worked at both garages. It was very, very well done.
Very good. Any other comments, public comments before we close?
Motion to adjourn.
Second the motion?
Discussion? Adjourned.
Holly, what do you got for me?